Hello guys and welcome back to Leah's Lifestyle. We're at it again with our book club, Payback Time. We're on chapter 3. This one, 3 minutes equals no risk. Wait a minute. Oh, so I said 3 minutes. 3 M's equal no risk investment. So, like last time, I took my notes. I double checked some of the information that I thought needed to be double checked, and I'll go over that and what I found. And then we have quite a bit of notes. It was like 40 pages to read. So this will be good for me because it will help me remember what I read and what I learned from it. But I also hope that you guys read it and that you enjoyed it. It was a bit of a long one. I already checked a little checkity-poo on the next chapter, and it is also equally long. So I hope you guys are buckled in and ready to get through this book with me. Not just get through it, but educate ourselves. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 12 pages of notes here. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so on page 1, he talks about Plato, and the example that he gave about talking about something that Plato said was, if you want to find the best example, start off by thinking about the perfect quote-unquote form of it, then look for it in the world that gets closest to it as possible. I thought I read something similar to this, and because I've read The Republic, and I did remember, but he extremely simplified it. His thought process is generally the right, and it is in The Republic if you guys want to go read it. It's a little more in-depth the way that Plato speaks about it, but I like that he's taking from this great thinker from the past. So, his quote-unquote perfect business, from Stockpiler's point, should be simple, easy to understand, 2, a durable monopoly, and 3, sells a universal product, 4, sells a habit-forming product, 5, produces products are cheap to make, 6, products are cheap to sell, 7, huge profit margins, 8, can raise its price with inflation, and 9, product and processes make the world a better place, 10, management is owner-oriented, passionate, dedicated, and honest. And then on page 2, he had continued that, and I just kind of read through, but he continued talking about these perfect businesses and what they would look like, right, in a perfect world, what a perfect business could be. And the first one he talks about, easy and simple for you to understand. Easier companies with easy and simple for you to understand. The easier the company will be, the easier the company when problems arise, have easier solutions, and more simple for you to forecast future cash flow. 2, protection against competition. Competition can't copy. So the secret formula, a brand, cost to switch, government awarded monopoly, or low cost. 3, everyone wants high photon. Nice. Got first one here again. 3, everyone wants it worldwide. 4, companies compels people to purchase again and again, even with tight money, and things like needs, like foods and whatnot, but also like things we really enjoy that are kind of like on the lower end, like Netflix would come to mind. Where was I? 5, low cost to produce, costs go down over time. 6, products almost sell themselves. Bloop. Then we go on to page 3 to continue. 7, cost of products can stay higher than cost to produce it, keep profit margins high. 8, if supplies raise prices, so does product price. 9, oh, Leah, why did you write? Hold on. I just separated pollution so it looks like pollution. Like 2 different words. I was like, what the fuck did I write? I just put too much space. Okay, number 9, no pollution doesn't take advantage of people, making people better products, making people better, productive, happier, doesn't violate the golden rule. 10, management and CEOs live and breathe the company over money. This is a perfect company, but you may never find one in real life because it may never be able to exist. Example, huge margins of profits can't work with not taking advantage of things. So what he's saying is like there's some things here that even in a perfect company, right, we're just thinking of what a perfect company could be, that they're not always going to align with themselves. So out of these 10, maybe only 7 of them will be able to find because some of them will automatically kind of go against each other. Page 4, Ivy B schools and BAs for business, and he's talking about management here, like the CEOs and everything, and he's saying that these people that go to the Ivy B schools and get their MBAs for business, they know the same, but not as well as someone from a producer and gamble management program. They call them P&Gs. So for sure, nothing will be perfect. Quote, they go to, the NBA for business schools, those people who get those degrees, they go to climb the world for money, end quote. And I double checked in this because I just wanted to make sure I understood IVB school MBAs and like what they're taught differently from the Procter and Gamble. And in P&Gs typically focus on real world rapid exposure and kind of giving them like experience, whereas like MBAs are theoretical foundations, and though they have diverse education and case studies, they typically are there for the network and the alumni. So what he was really trying to push in this on page 4 was mostly just talking about how like having these CEOs who are there to climb and get really like get all the money and to get like they're like, oh, I know this person and like I'm part of this college and and more than it is about them actually knowing how to run a company very well. Page 5, perfect businesses short. Then he shortened it, right? So he thinks 10 is too long, so we need to shorten the list. A perfect business shortened. 1 is as simple as a lemonade stand, which was just number 1, so that one stayed the same. Number 2 is protected by some form of monopoly, and he believed that was number 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8, all wrapped in 1. Number 3, universal appeal, the same as number 3 before. Number 4, habit forming, same as the last number 4. 5, makes the world a better place, and that was number 9. 6, owner-orientated, passionate, dedicated management, and that was number 10. So now there's 6 instead of 10. And he talked a little bit about at the end here, talking about what he thought could be a perfect business, and though he doesn't believe it's a perfect business, Charlie Munger believes it's a perfect business, and so he says not even Coke is a perfect. There are a few quote-unquote perfect businesses, even fewer for the right price. Settle for less than perfect, merely wonderful is what he calls them. Page 6, a wonderful business. So he's even shortened it, not a perfect business anymore, but he's shortened the list now for a wonderful businesses, something where you're like focusing to hopefully gain a perfect business, but you know nothing's perfect, so we're searching for wonderful. And so there's only 3, meaning, great to you, simple to you, which means you understand it, you think it's great, you love the meaning of it. 2, moat, big moat protected from competition. What is this word I wrote? Durable and profitable. 3, management, owner-oriented, dedicated, passionate, and honest. Page 7, 3 M's protect you from bad companies like Fannie Mae and WAMU. So I don't know. I think I could think of a couple more that like had gone down that people were really buying into and then like went bankrupt like the next day. They were like really being pushed, right? I'm sure we can all think of a few of those. But these are a couple companies that, were really pushed, and he gave some examples about them and talked about them a little bit on page 7. Page 8, he talks about the first simplified meaning of a wonderful business. So, meaning, it's about knowing the industry. Love in and outs of the computer world. That could be a company you buy into. That could be something perfect. Look into tech. Exercise. Make 3 connecting circles labeled passion, talent, and money. And I've done this exercise multiple times. I'll probably do it again and again. You should do it as many times as you feel necessary. It shouldn't take you that long. And then whatever you find in all 3 of them, that is what you should start looking into for investing. So Phill's town at the time of writing this that were in all 3 circles for him was 1, investing, 2, writing, 3, speaking, 4, guiding, 5, travel, and 6, outdoors. On page 9, work to go to. Oh, this is homework. This is like some homework stuff. And I was actually thinking about jumping on here and changing this so we could do it together. So let me go to yahoo.com and let me bring it up here for you guys to see. Oh, why are we freezing? There we go. Okay, so this is the homework from page 9 that I hope you guys either follow along or do yourself so that way you can do it. So we go to yahoo.com. On the left side of the web pages, click finance. So it's up here at the top now. I'm guessing there was like an old thing over here, but it's different. And he wants you to bookmark this because he feels like we're going to go to this often. I have a bookmark here that's investing, and I'll add it to that. Near the top of in tabs, click on the left of industries. Okay, so we need to look for. Is this not finance? There we are. We need to look in. Industries. Let's see here. No. Near the top in the tabs, click on the left of industries. But I'm not seeing industries. You seeing industries? Not even here. My portfolio, news, market research, personal finance videos. We can do it. Screener stock comparisons. No. Credit, banking, mortgage, insurance, taxes, student loan. Definitely not. Let's go to my portfolio. I'm not signed into anything, so I'm not sure it's going to bring up anything particular. No. Trending jobs. Stock, crypto, private companies, options, sectors, technology. Oh, it's under sectors now, huh? I think it's under markets and then sectors. Here, the last time it was in industries. Drop down menu, list of the web pages, click on industries. Let's click on sectors. Because this is, I think, the same as industries. Okay. Continued work. Okay, page 10 now. Left bottom under Industry Center. Click Complete Industry List. Let's see. $11 sectors, 145 industries. And there's no scrolling. This is it. We can't move up and down. I'm just gonna refresh the page. There it is, scrolling. Ha ha ha. Technology. All sectors new. All sectors news, not new. Maybe they just don't have the same section anymore as they used to. Okay, let's see what he says. Has 9 sectors. It has 11 sectors now. Group industries that are similar. Basic material. Let's see. I don't see that here. Conglomerates. Nope. Consumer goods. Nope. Financial services. Healthcare hasn't changed. Industrial goods. I don't see that either. Services. Nope. Technology. Yes. And utilities. Yes, but it also has real estate. Oh, basic materials. There we are. Okay. Consumer defense, which I have to say is consumer goods. Consumer services, which is probably just services. Consumer cycle. That's new. Industrial. Oh, industrial goods. Probably that one. Financial services. Technology. Okay. All right. So the ones he said are all there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah. So what are the new ones? Energy. Energy is a new one. Real estate is a new one. Okay. Energy and real estate added to the list. Page 11. Use your 3-circle list to find the industry that coordinates. Example for him is outdoors, so consumer goods, textiles, and apparels. So for me, I'm going to do communication services. I think that one was new. Interesting. There's something here that got pushed out. Conglomerates. There's no more conglomerates, so communication services, conglomerates is gone. Communication services, real estate and energy are new. So I would have to say something, or maybe industrial is supposed to be in no, industrial goods are there. Okay. Let's see. What should I pick for mine? I kind of want to go into either communication services or healthcare. Let's click this. Telecommunication services. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Entertainment. I think we're going to click entertainment. And there we are. Now we're in entertainment. And here are the companies. Okay. So, page 12. If you don't recognize names, this is not the industry for you. So once you get here and you're looking at these companies, if you can't recognize any of the names here, here's Netflix, Walt Disney, Warner Brothers. I know all of these. So I'm good. this is a one that I can probably understand. So we're going to stay here. Page 13. Once you recognize names, once you recognize names, which you will because you already buy or like them, it's time to dig deeper. Click on Industry Browser, top left. Okay, Industry Browser. View more. That or no? Oh, here we are. Okay. Done. Leave me alone. Then click on ROE and book value, price, and free cash flow. Top companies that show up are the ones we will focus on. Okay, so ROE, let's see here. Don't see ROE here. Let's book value. Price and cash free flow. Let's see. I think this is price. So the highest priced companies right now. Don't know that one. Square Garden Sports Corp. Live Nation, Sphere. Okay, let's go. I know Roku. The top ones are the ones we're supposed to be looking at for price. Okay, let's see here. Free cash flow. Let's customize. Oh, please sign in to save your screener creed. I don't really want to. Oh, don't think I have a Yahoo. Okay. Let's see here. I think PE ratio. Don't think that's exactly ROE. There's Roku again. IMAX is here. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if price is book value. I don't think it is. Market cap. Don't think any of these other things matter. I wish we could change it without... Yeah, I really don't think it has book value here. It has 1D chart, but it doesn't show like where they're priced at. You know what I mean? I think and if we click on them, we'd have to look at every single one to see it's 77.6. So let's go back and see if that is... Okay, so that's the... But there's no cash flow here either, free cash flow. Change, volume. Maybe volume is how they're doing it now. Average volume. Netflix, Warner Brothers. So Roku keeps popping up. That's definitely one. I think that's the one we're going to click today, since that's the one we're going to show up for. Wonderful companies have wonderful numbers, and that's one thing to remember. That's why we're looking for the top ones here. Dig around Yahoo Finance and MSN Money for info. CEO's quarterly conference. Oh, this is on page 15, by the way. Conferences, calls, and with analysis sisters can be on their website. So check websites and all that stuff. And of course, they're quarterlies. I haven't listened to any conference calls yet, so that will be new for me when we do that. Page 16, read companies. Warren does it, so you should too. 1, their 10Q, which is quarterly. 2, their 10K, which is annually. And then you should be reading all of their annual reports for the last 5 to 10 years. Page 17, keep reading until you aren't getting any new information. That's when you know you have read enough. If it sounds hard, think about doing your job at 75. So essentially, he's just trying to encourage you, like, if all of this extra work sounds difficult, like, just remember that you could be doing the same job you're doing right now or worse at a much older age. Page 18, majority of people find it too hard overworking and menial jobs. If you do what others are not willing, you will have what others do not. Once you have meaning solved, finding a doable business is next. What's next? Moat. So we're going to click on this one because that's the one we're going to test out with today, because I like Roku. I use Roku, so I mean, why not? It's about the durability of the business, a competitive advantage. If you don't win competitors' lower prices, so will your business, unless they are the low price monster. Think Walmart. It's better to have high prices, pay employees well, and raise prices over the years. That's why you need a moat, so that way you can do that. Page 20. The 5 moats. First one is brand. You're willing to pay more because of name and trust. Examples are like Coke, Pepsi, Nike, Disney. I also kind of think of like Netflix, because people think like when you watch TV, they like Netflix and chill. So anything like where like you think of like if you're gonna get a chocolate bar, you think of Hershey, right? Like that's the general, like even if you don't personally, like the majority of people do. So it's like, what do you think of when like you think shoes? What's like the majority of people that are like, oh yeah, I get some Nike shoes, right? Like when you think of cartoons and cartoon movies, you think of Disney. So it's like stuff like that. Like when you want a soda, you think of Coke. Like when you think of a phone, you think iPhone. That's like, at least for the longest time, I'm not sure if people still do that, but I do think like most of the time when people say like, oh, I have a phone, like they think iPhone. So 2, secret, patent or trade secret makes competition illegal or very difficult. Examples, Pfizer and Intel. So companies that have to have patents for things and they get to keep putting them on. Disney used to have one kind of like that, but not anymore. Toll. 3 is toll. Expensive control over market. Example, utilities, media, agencies. So like, oh, and what is it also? The railroad would be another big one. But anything where like you have to pay a specific company to do that thing, and that's like the only company, it's a toll. You have to do it. Like going over a bridge, you have to pay the toll to use that bridge, or you could take a much longer 2-hour road down and pay even more in gas to do that. It's your choice. 4, switch. So incorporated in your life, life switching isn't worth it. Like Apple, Google, Microsoft, iPhones, especially like Microsoft with larger corporations. Like if you have an iPhone earbuds, the computer, an Apple, right? Like got all that connected, you don't want to switch one thing to a different device. You'll just get another Apple device, right? 5, low cost. Price products so low no one can compete. Examples are Walmart, Costco, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Home Depot. Page 21, the big 5 numbers. 1, ROIC or ROC, return on investment capital or return on capital. Amount of money the business makes each year on the capital it has to invest should be 10% or better. 2, the 4 growth rates, all growth growing at 10%, so that's earnings, sales, equity, and cash. And 3, debt should be 0, but never more than needing 3 years to pay off with earnings. Page 22, MSN.com. Ooh, so now we're going to go to MSN. Because I think the reason he doesn't want to do these ones, I forgot about it. I thought we were going to do it here, but we're not. Is because they only give 5 years. And we want, they do an all and overall, so you could still do like the 10-year stuff, but I don't think they have statistics. Let's see. We're just going to check because it could have changed. And I just want to make sure. Oh, they don't even have that far back. And you have to pay for it. Yeah. Let's go to financials. Let's see what that looks like. They give you 3 years. They give you 3 years. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, Google's not the best place for looking at these numbers. But apparently he likes it for finding businesses because of the way they have it set up. So maybe you can use MSN as well. Okay. I'm going to also, let's see, click on money, he says. Money. And he's looking at a very specific company. And so we'll kind of do the same thing, but we're going to do it with the new numbers just as he did with these numbers so we can kind of get a practice. Okay, I'm going to save this to investing. And then we're looking for Ralph Lauren. That's the company he used for his example. Left column under fundamentals equals financial results. Click it. Okay, so we're going to go fundamentals. He said left column, but it looks like that's not what we want. Summary financials. Fundamentals, financial results. Finances. I think it's just right here. Finances. Yeah, here we are. Okay. So yeah, you just have to click finances. You don't have to find this extra stuff. Key ratio bottom. Click. Let's see if there's anything. Key ratios. It's top left, not bottom now. Menu with 7 items stationed with growth rate. Let's see. Growth rates, here it is. Okay. Stationed with growth rate. 5 items. Investment returns. Click it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Yes, let's see. This is definitely the one we want, but I'm not seeing. He says 5th item, investment returns. Revenue, EPS, indicates how fast the company EPS growth per year. Indicates how fast the company's free cash flow. Dividends indicates how fast the company's book value is growing. ROIC is what we'd be. I'm gonna just click this, but oh, it doesn't matter. It just shows you. Okay, over here. So it's not gonna change it, but ROIC and ROC look for consistency. Just trying to look to see if what he's talking about is still here or if they've changed it. Investment turnover, receivables, return on assets. I think that's. Yes. Investment return cycles. So, I think that might be what he's looking for. When things change, you gotta work with it. We're gonna do. So I think for these numbers we want annually instead of quarterly, and he'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on why. But I remember that, and I know we need to keep that. Okay. Oh, growth rates. There we go. Okay, so everything's up here. Okay, growth rates. Fifth item, industrial returns. I don't see that. That's book value, though. There's our book value, finally. Return on capital, that's what we were looking for. Okay. So return on ROIC and ROC look for consistent numbers over the years. Okay, so for this one, for Ralph Lauren, over the years, let's see, since 2019, which is almost 10 years. We're 2 years short, but still. That's pretty good. Let's see, consistent numbers. We're starting at. They have two different things here. 10% and then going up. Let's see. I feel like we're supposed to be able to see a wider numbers than this. Income statement. We want return on capital, but I'm not seeing it here either. These are going up. These are going down. Page 23, most important growth number is equity. All of the money owed, sold. If you sold everything it owned, paid off debt, the amount left is equity, quote unquote book value. And it's the hardest number to manipulate. So that's another one we need to find, is, which I think we did just see that, didn't we? Book value, there it is. Yeah. And book value has been consistent and recently going up. Okay, so that's good. 10-year summary. Okay, let's see. 10-year summary, click. Book value, share, column, view per share. Okay, so we want per share. And it also looks like it's coming up annually. Good. Okay. Let's see if we can, like, is there a 10-year summary? Here's summary. It only has 5 as well, but we'll go max. And then book value or equity. Let's see. Let me find it. PE, PS, analysis recommendation, earnings, revenue, future growth. Current ratio, equity ratio. Looks like the equity ratio is going down, right? Financial health. Where's the book value though? That's the thing. It's so much changes. You gotta try and figure some of this out yourself. Alright. I'm not saying book share. That's okay. We'll go back to finances. Key ratios, because the book value is here. We're going to do annual. It looks like it's going up, so that looks good. Page 24. If BVPS is growing from 10 years ago, especially consistently, book value, I do believe, it's good. Check where and if it had negative years. Check most recent book value and which equals equity. Financial results, statements. Okay, so this is the next thing we're doing. Financial results, statements, balance sheet, which I think was a different section here. Thought I saw it somewhere. I'm pretty sure I saw it. I saw it. Finances, balance sheet. There we go. Okay. It says click interim button. These are the most recent quarterly. Okay, so that's why we want quarterly. And in the bottom, equity per share divided by total common share outstanding. So, quarterly, shareholders' equity, right? Okay, so we want this divided by total common shares outstanding. So, current liabilities, I think that's debt, yeah. That's debt, okay. By how many shares they have. Where's that number? Okay. We need to find what their... Hello, puppy. Hello, my nut bug. Market cap. I think market cap is shares outstanding. There we go. Okay. We're going to round it to 59. Wait. Because it's million. Okay. Was this where we were at? Or were we in analysis? There we are. Finances. Balance sheet. Quarterly. 2.84 billion. Let's see here, real quick. I just need to do a little paper math to the side. I'm going to move the decimals. I just need a little paper. I guess I'm just going to do it up the top here. Okay, so it was 2.84 billion equity. And then let's go back to summary. And we're going to look, and there is 59.52 million shares. Okay. So, let's see here. And it is by total common shares outstanding. Okay. So 2.84 divided by 59.52 or 59 point. No, because it's okay. I got it. How to do this? Okay, real quick. I need to do a little calculation. Okay. By okay. Okay, we got 4772. And I'm just going to see if I can get that number in calculations here so I can make sure I'm doing it right. 2.8 divided by 50. Okay, yes, so I have to move the decimal 1, 2, 3 times over. So you take 2.8 divided by 59.52, and then you move the decimal 3 times over. So that's good to go. So 47 book share, book value. Let's see. And what is it selling at right now? It's so overpriced. It's wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So calculating growth rates, we use Excel or an online calculator or the rule of 72, which is what I'm going to do. The rule of 72 is that 10% of money doubles every 7.2 years. So if you want to know how long it will take to double your money, take interest percentage and divide it by 72. So on page 26, to solve for interest growth rate, reverse it, take years needed for return and divide 72, and that equals a percent rate of return. So he did this during this year that he was, writing the book. And so his examples are using the numbers that they have here. And so I went through on that page, what page was that? 26, and did the examples. And on page 27, he said, watch for bad and flat years. Why? Maybe was there a recession, or did anything else happen, and keep that in mind when you're doing the numbers. Page 28, sales growth rate. He did an example there, which we'll go over an example with the current year here. And then page 29, we went over cash flow. So let's do these two examples with today's numbers, because I don't feel like it's worth, like, you can go into the book and do these examples, but I want to, like, memorize and remember all of the stuff here. So go back a page. And so we want to find how long it's going to take us to double this. So take our interest percent and divide it by 72. So interest percent, let's see. What's happening? Stop it. Actually, real quick, I'm going to open up the book. I'm going to see where he found these numbers, because he has, like, little pictures here that are really helpful. Finances, sales, income. No, that's the wrong one. Because right now we're calculating growth rate. Let me just, here we are. Okay. I'm going to put it here so I can see while we're doing this. Okay, so we need to go into summary. Income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. Wait a minute. Where is key ratios per share value? 10-year. I don't see a 10-year. There should be a 10-year here, but it doesn't have it anymore? Is that what's happening? Let's see. Let me ask Google real quick, see if we can find it. 10-year summary for MSN.com. Ten-year summary for public companies is formerly known as 10K annual report. To find these reports for specific companies like Men's Warehouse. Top resources, find 10-year. Okay. That's not what I'm intending. Oh. It auto-corrected to men instead of MSN. MSN Money Market page, select the stock and navigate to the financial tabs or analysis. Yeah, I'm there, but I don't see anything. However, as discussed by investors on Quora, MSN Money summaries can be limited for companies and standardized 10-year data. Consider these alternatives. But it's not here. I think they took it off. I don't think it's here anymore, guys. Like, they go back a couple years here. And another few more years if you do annual instead of quarterly. But they don't have the, like, he has, like, it shows income sheet, balance sheet, cash flow, and 10-year summary tab here. You should be able to click on a tab that says income statement, annual, yeah, and then it goes to 2019. I think this might be the closest we can get. Okay, so we're gonna use this. Okay, let's look for, see if they have the numbers here. Okay, so we have current book value, but we don't know the numbers for past book value is the thing. Alright, we'll go over that a little bit later. Let's continue, since we hit a bump in the road, let's continue to page 29, cash flow. So they don't have long-term cash flow summaries. What? Okay, back to it. So he says MSN does not have long-term cash flow summaries. We have to go to do the work. Click on the cash flow tab. Let's see if they have that still. I think that's the thing, right? Like, they're not gonna have... I haven't seen... Oh, here's cash flow tab. Okay, here we are. Have cash from operating activities, COPs, or OPs, on the share basis. Operating cash flow. Cash from operating activities. I think that's this. Because I don't see, you can't scroll any farther, and what he shows here is not, it doesn't look like that anymore. So I think it's that. Okay. Ignore cash from financing activities, net changes and cash, net changes in cash and cash from industry activities in these sectors. Right here. In these sectors, they move money to T-bills, investing, pay off debt, buybacks, buy back stocks. So it just moves around a lot, and we don't want to pay attention to those numbers. So page 30, cash flow growth number example, and then we did like example in the book using the numbers here So, and then he said, of course, you can use Excel chart to check up on them. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a similar thing. Cash flow example. So we're going to take this, and how many times does it take for this number, which we would want 10 year, so we'd want just a couple more years back, but we're going to go with this one, and we're going to see how it's supposed to be like 9 years. How many 9 years will it take to get to this? Right, so we are going to let's see, move it back 3 numbers, right? Yeah, okay. So we do the numbers were much easier because they were much smaller before, so this is a little more difficult. $780 times 2 would put us above this. So it's about 1.5 years to double. So we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.5, no. 1.5 years times 2 is 3. 3 years divided by 72 is, wait, 72 divided by 3 years, sorry, is 24. So it's 24%. That's not bad. That's a good number. 24 is a good number. And what was the last number we got? Was 40 something? 48? I think I wrote it down. Hold on, I'm gonna write down this. 783 to billion to 1.15 million to billion. 780 times 2 is 150, right? Hold on. Yeah. So it'd be 1 double 1.5 years divided by, oh wait, no, because it was only 1 double. So 1 1.5 divided by 1 divided by 1.5, 72 divided by 1.5 is 48. Didn't we just get that number too? That's the same number as the one we got for the book value. Makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. But that's why we keep doing it. Because even though I went over these notes and I did it and I feel like I got it, I feel like you got to keep testing it and figure it out. 1.5 divided by 75 is 48%. 1 double, yeah. Or is it 2? Hold on. I know, but there was another. Oh, that's okay. Okay, hold on. So move this over. So to do and by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. 7 years. Okay, there we go. And over. So that's 0. 70 divided by 15. Oops. It's 4.6 years. Okay, 75 or 72, not 75, 72. Doing some of the math wrong. 15. Okay. 15.65%. That's not a bad number. That's above 10. That's much better. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. That's good. That's good stuff. Okay. Okay. Page 31, check debt. Goal is good. Goal is always going to be 0, but if you can pay it off with less than 3 years of earnings, check the company report, RL, main menu. You will see interim trial 12 months for earnings. Okay, let's see. We want to find earnings. Revenue growth. I think I should just say earnings. He says, main menu, you will see interim trial 12 months of earnings. But I don't think finance is income. Okay. So we just need to find income. Income statement. Operating income. Here we go. Oh, but that's at percentages. We want numbers. We want numbers. Earnings 2.45. Okay, again. 2.45 what? Oh, annual. Percentage? I want a number. Number. RL. He does say it should be underneath RL. RL main menu, you will see internal. Is this 11.5 million? This is percentage, right? RL 15.11. A million? 15.11 million? Company's earnings divided by shares. I don't want divided by shares. Turn on 33.12%. Price to earning. Don't care. I want the actual numbers. They've definitely changed quite a bit on here, so it's not as easy to find. It looks like, and I'm sure they did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. But you can't click it. Forecast. 2.2 what like, is it percentage? Is that millions? Like, I just don't understand. Revenue, I want revenue. I want earnings history. Let's see what that does. Income expenses. Maybe it says billions here, you see? And then it says millions. So that's why I'm like, is it billions then? Is that number... Is this earnings 2.45 billion? I guess that's what we have to go with, right? Like, that's the numbers. Okay. 2.45 billion income. And then compared to debt, let's see. Balance sheets are numbers are not like income and cash. So it should be the same quarterly and annually, but it's not. Do you see that? They should be the same. 15.11 billion cash. Okay, it's either that or it's 15.11 billion. And then we need debt. We need how much debt they have. Measures a company's ability to pay off any debt that is taken on a lower percentage typical. No, I don't want that. I want the actual debt. Long-term debt. There we are. 1.24 billion. And if it is 2.45 billion, then the answer is yes, it could pay it off in 2 years. But if it's 15.11 billion, which is why I don't understand that the number's changing, then the answer is no. So, management, how to spot traders. I'm gonna have to do more work on this. I hope you guys aren't too confused. I hope I haven't made it more confusing. I hope I've helped you find some of the things that in the book might be more difficult to find if you're not searching on here. Page 33, more than 40 times paid CEO from the okay, so the first thing to notice to find a trader CEO or someone that's not good for the company is if they're getting paid 4 times the amount of the lowest paid employee, which is typically over $1 million. He even talks a little bit about how Congress tried to stop that by making it so CEOs couldn't be paid more than $1 million, but then they just like changed where they're getting paid from with like stock options and other things. So 2, the golden parachute. If they get fired and the CEO gets a payout, it's like written in his contract, not a good CEO. 3, treat company assets like they own it and smooth people like the company's the compensation committees people and pay for like flights and vacations and like take them out and stuff. That is not a good CEO either. Page 34. 4, buying a business to make a bigger business rather than better. ROIC going down And stockpiling businesses means terrible return on investment. So they're buying up all these little tiny businesses, trying to make themselves look bigger and better, but the ROIC is going down, down, down as it's happening. That means they're not getting a good return on the businesses they're buying. So not a good CEO. Now, ways to find a great CEO. They're service-orientated, not ego-orientated. 2, passion, and it's contagious. 3, honor, won't risk reputation for money or power or prestige. 4, B-A-G, big audacious goal. He even marks a book that we're going to add to our book reading list, which is Good to Great by Jim Collins, is where he gets this big audacious goal idea from. And it's a drive to change the world and can inspire the employees to help. So I think that also has something to do with the passion and contagious. You can see it in the company and the people who work there. They're really excited about it. Page 35, how to check out management without hiring a private eye. So he talks about John Templeton, which he believes is a rule number 1 investor and founder of the Templeton Foundations, which I checked into. And he seems to be what he says. He has a 15% growth rate for 38 years in his foundation, in his fund. So that's a good return, and not everyone can do that. So I feel like he had to be a Rule 1 investor. He's also dead now. He died in 2008. But he also created the Scuttlebutt. This John Templeton did. And it's how to find these qualities in a CEO. 1, you're going to wiki them and read their wiki, which I do a lot with a lot of the people we find in here. 2, read articles just like that were posted from different places. And 3, go to Forbes, Fortune, Barron's, Wired 2.0, Success, Wall Street Journal, and New York Times to see if you can find anything else written about them. Then he talks about John McKay, which was a Whole Foods investor. And he has a book called The Whole Story. And he believed in free market, libertarianism, and conscious capitalism. And I double-checked that information. So page 36, number 4, CEO's annual letters to shareholders is one of the last things you're going to want to check into, because you're going to want to compare if the numbers that you find match with what they're saying. So if you see that the numbers are going down and the CEO is like, everything's great, or if you're like, for the last 3 years or 4 years, they're like, oh, we're going to get... next year we're going to double everything. In the next few years we're going to double, how much we're making and everything. And he's been having the same promise for multiple years and nothing's changing. That's something to clock. Page 37, red flags list. 1, no grip on the industry. Example, you are an English teacher looking into a pharmaceutical company, and you are so healthy you don't even take aspirin. And every time you look into them and read, you get bored. Not a buy. You have no grip on the industry. So if it has nothing to do with your living situation, if you're not doing anything at all with it, if it doesn't interest you in any way, so much so that you're falling asleep reading it, that's not an industry for you. 2, you're too optimistic. It's easy to think big numbers will continue to be consistent. So be conservative about the future. So just because the numbers seem to be going up, don't be like, oh, these numbers are going to stay the same. Be understanding about the situation in real life and be conservative about it. Page 38, no real moat. Understand the businesses well enough, a real moat versus a fake moat. If it's easy to copy and it's a commodity business for big and small businesses, this is not a moat. Number 4, failed to keep up. Have passion and enthusiasm for the businesses. It will help you keep up with reading the quarterly reports, so you will see the changes coming and know when to get out. Ooh, we're almost done, so let me switch. We're probably not going to be doing any more of that. Okay. Page 38. The riches is creative destruction. Real wealth is just what's this word that I wrote down? Real wealth is just the something of labor. It's essentially like it's making less labor. I don't know what word I wrote down here. I kind of chicken scratched it. Sorry about that. But it's just real wealth is when you can get rid of labor and make more money from it. So on page 39, he had an example where like we're selling cars for $50K and it takes us about $25K to actually create them. And then somebody comes up with a way to build cars for $70K. The companies either have to charge less, which means they're not going to make as much money, right? And then on top of that, they're going to have to adjust and build these new ways of making the company. And so that's getting rid of labor, but it's producing more income for them, right? The only reason this doesn't work is when the government comes in and adds extra fees and stuff on top to mark this 7K person to force them to charge it for much more, allowing the other companies to stay as they are. And then essentially they're just stealing the government's stealing the wealth at that point. And we don't want that. You can stop progress. You can't stop progress, but you can push wealth overseas. So if you're going to add all these extra charges, then people will find other places to build it that aren't going to have the extra charges, right? So we can push which we've done. Truthfully, we've done that. So, and then the last page, page 40, takeaway and active notes. Find companies with 3 M's. Find businesses related to passion, talent, and money spent on them. Do 3 M's analysis on them. Use tools to scan the market for acceptable stockpiled companies and analyze their management teams. And then even for us, read chapter 4. So I hope going through just now and seeing a little bit of me digging around, even when you're using the book, it's going to take you a little bit of time because things change over time, the way things are set up. Some of the stuff is not even there, like the 10. So you're going to have to use some different tools and whatnot. And I think that's the encouragement here, is to find the tool that works for you, where you can find all this information, where it's easy for you to find. So there's going to be a learning curve here, some test and trial. You saw I did the stuff yesterday in the book, and I thought I was like understanding it pretty well, but like going on and looking here with you guys, like I could tell, like, okay, I need a minute to like really look at these numbers and make sure I'm doing the math right and making sure I'm getting everything together right. So take your time. This is a learning thing. Don't be getting all angry and stuff. I believe in you. You can believe in you. I love you guys so very much. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon down below so that way you know every single time when I post. Check out my links. Go follow me everywhere so you can keep up with what I'm doing recently, so you don't have to wait for these videos to come out and you can watch me do them live. And even more so, I've started some other links so I can start funding this a little bit more and pay my bills and add some better mics and other things. So please go and support me there if you are enjoying this. And until next time, bye.